What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be getting into my Week 12 NBA power rankings. So let's dive right into them. And a little bit of a rush, so it might be a little bit of a shorter one, but let's go into it. Starting with the number 30 team, we have the Detroit Pistons. This week, they go 2-2. So a decent enough week for Detroit, but same old thing for them. Really, without Kate Cunningham, it's really Bogdanovich, Ivy, a few other pieces there, and just not a lot to go for them this season. Going to number 29, we're going to have the Houston Rockets. They're going to be dropping down here a spot. The Rockets this week go 0-3. So, yeah, not a good week. The Rockets continue kind of their slid here. Just kind of a young, talented team. I think this team's better, could be better than what they're showing, but clearly they're just not good enough, and they're not ready to compete. And they continue falling right now. Clearly, a long rebuild is still on the horizon for Houston. Going to number 28, we're going to have the Charlotte Hornets going to be jumping up a spot. Really only because of LaMelo Ball. I trust him more. Other than that, this team sucks in general. They have really no other pieces. They go 1-2 this week. So take that as you will. The Hornets, still not a good team. All right, number 27, staying at the same spot, we're going to have the San Antonio Spurs. If it wasn't for Greg Popovich, like I said last week, this team probably is the worst team in the NBA. But just continue to stay at least decently enough competitive. They go 1-2 this week, so solid enough for the Spurs. But just I don't really think that the Spurs, just don't have enough talent to be a competitive enough team to be in the hunt, as we've seen so far this season. Number 26, we're gonna have the Orlando Magic, also gonna be staying at the same spot. Magic this week go 0-2. Sitting at 13-24. Kind of were on a winning streak there. Now they're kind of sliding back down to earth a little bit. They got a lot of young pieces with Suggs. The new Polio kid from Duke. A few other guys in there that Orlando's building off of right now, but it's just not good enough to be a good team. All right, so that's the bad tier. Let's go to number 25. We're going to have the Oklahoma City Thunder staying at the same spot. The Thunder sit at 15-21 this week, go 0-2. They're very close to dropping out of the bad tier. I'm going to keep them in because I moved them up last week, so going to stand my ground a bit there. Gilgeous Alexander is a good enough player to really, lead this team. He's really playing well for the Thunder right now. I believe he's averaging around 20, 29, or 30 points a game. So that's really good for the Thunder. But yeah, still the same things with the Thunder, just not a lot of talent elsewhere. It's still a rebuild. But, they're a competitive team, and I do think that they could streak together some wins and potentially slide into the play-in tournament here. Moving on to number 24, we're going to have the Toronto Raptors dropping down 3 spots here. The Raptors this week go, they go 1-2. A lot of other teams in the Eastern Conference are getting better, so I do think it's justified to move the Raptors down. It's just been an uncharacteristic year for the Raptors. This team usually is very competitive, a very solid team, well coached, but not this year. I mean, they're 16-21. They really went on a losing streak like a week ago, and now they're really having a tough time trying to get back to it, and they find themselves dropping down 3 spots at number 24. Number 23, we have the LA Lakers going to be jumping up a spot here. The Lakers this week go 2-1, so decent enough week for the Lakers. Same things with them, though. LeBron James trying to carry this team. Without Anthony Davis, just not a very good team really at all, and it's really just the LeBron James show in LA. And they're 16-21. They're in the hunt right now. Not much else to say about the Lakers. Going to number 22, we have the Washington Wizards jumping up a spot. at 17 and 21. The Wizards started to dig themselves out of this hole that they built. They go 3-0 this week. So big time week for Washington. Bradley Beal started to play like he did earlier, coming off that injury. He's playing a lot better for the Wizards. And then Porzingis, Kuzma. This team has talent, and this team can be an explosive basketball team. They just got to fit together some things, and they did it this week. Let's see if they can continue doing it. Going to number 21, we're going to have the Minnesota Timberwolves dropping down 4 spots. Very frustrating team right now. The Timberwolves just continue to not play good. This week they go 1-3. So another just bad week for the Timberwolves. I'm done with the Timberwolves right now. I've been saying they got a lot of talent with Rudy Gobert, Karl-Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards. They're just not meshing at this point. And at this point, they have a lot of potential, if they could figure things out right now. But it's time for the Timberwolves to drop. It's time for them to be treated like an actual 17 and 21 team right now. And that's what I'm doing. The Timberwolves are just not playing good right now. And they've got to be better if they want to fit into this play-in tournament in the Western Conference. All right, so that is the In the Hunt tier. Let's go to the play-in tier. Starting out with number 20, we're going to have the Chicago Bulls jumping up 2 spots. So the Bulls fell victim last game to Donovan Mitchell's craziness, but 71-point outing. But still, the Bulls starting to figure things out here. Go 2-2 this week. At this point on, I do think that the Bulls are the better team over the Washington Wizards and for the Eastern Conference, I guess, and the Timberwolves as well. So, yeah, the Bulls, a lot of talent with DeRozan, with Levine, Vucevic. It can be a very good team, and they're a scary team. I don't think anyone wants to line up and play the Bulls. If they're on, this team can get you. So I do think this team is a top 10 team in the Eastern Conference right now, and that's where they find themselves at number 20, jumping up 2 spots. Going to number 19, we're going to have the Utah Jazz dropping down 3 spots here. The Jazz, a rough week for them. They go 0-3. So not a good week. The Jazz magic may be fading a little bit right now. They haven't been playing like that number 1, top seed in the Western Conference like they did earlier this year. They need to get back to that. Markkanen, excellent player for the Jazz. Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson. They got some good players. Very underrated team coming into the year. That they had some players with a lot of chips on their shoulders. So that really helped out the Jazz, but, maybe the magic's fading. We'll see. I still believe in the Jazz right now, and they're going to be finding themselves at 19 for the time being. Going to number 18, we're going to have the Indiana Pacers jumping up 2 spots. The Pacers this week, this team find themselves at 21-17. The Pacers go 3-0 this week. Wow. So the Pacers, I thought, were starting to lose some stuff a couple of weeks ago. Then last week, go on a winning streak. Now this week, go on a winning streak. And the Pacers on 21-17 right now. Very surprising team. Right now, the surprise team, I would say, because this team, maybe other than another team we might say sooner. But the Pacers, wow, they're playing really good basketball. They're playing together with Miles Turner, Halberton, the kid out of Arizona. I forgot his name for now, but you know who I'm talking about, Pacers fans. The Pacers, great basketball right now. They're playing good and really well-coached team right now, and they find themselves in the play-in tournament here at number 18. Going to number 17, we're going to have the Golden State Warriors jumping up 2 spots here. The Warriors this week go 3-0 without Curry. Clearly, the Warriors need Curry back to be a top team, but right now they're finding their way to win without him. Klay Thompson comes back last night, I believe, and he scores like 50-plus points or something. So Thompson still has it, as we see. They got a solid roster around them. Kind of struggle on defense. It is crazy. Like the Warriors, what are they? like, I don't even know. They're like 3 and something on the road and like 17 wins at home. I think that's what it is for the Warriors. I mean, it is crazy. Um, it's the really home field advantage has helped out the Warriors this season. All right, let's go to number 16. We're going to have the Atlanta Hawks dropping down 3 spots. Maybe deserve to come down a little bit more. The Hawks really struggling right now. Go 0-3 this week. Just continue. They had a very good start to the year and continuing just to have this slide. And now they've had a bad slide, a really bad one. Go 0-3. That's not good at all for the Hawks. This team has Murray and Trae Young, a lot of talent, very explosive team. But when they're cold like this, like we've seen, this team can lose a lot of games, and this team's showing it right now. They've got to be better. And I don't really trust the Hawks as a basketball team right now. They've got to figure things out. And another slide like this, they could even fall deeper because the Pacers are right there. The Warriors could get Curry back. The Hawks need to figure some things out. And fast, because there's a lot of teams catching up on them in the East with the Bulls as well. Standings wise, Bulls winning, Wizards winning. The Hawks got to figure things out. Going to number 25, we're going to have the Sacramento Kings. This would be the surprise team. I guess the 3 would be the Kings, the Pacers, and the Jazz so far this season. A surprise, maybe the Pelicans as well, but we'll get to them later. The Kings this week go. I do believe they go 2-1 this week, so decent enough week for the Sacramento Kings, and with like teams like the Jazz, like the Warriors and the Hawks, or like not the Warriors, but the Timberwolves and the Hawks dropping down. That gave me a right to move the Kings up. This team's playing good basketball right now. Buddy Hield playing good. Or no, sorry, not Hield. De'Aaron Fox. And Sabonis is playing good basketball right now. He's an underrated player on this team. So the Kings are playing good right now. You're going to deserve to jump up 3 spots. And the Kings, can they finally snap this long playoff streak that's just seems to never end for the Kings right now? They're in the play-in tournament. So we'll see if they can keep it going. Well, I guess in the standings, they might be in the actual playoff tier, I do think, or playoffs. I'm not sure, but that's where we go with the Kings right now. All right, jumping up a spot, we're gonna have the New York Knicks. The Knicks, solid week, go 2-1. So just gonna come up for that. Julius Randle playing good basketball. Jalen Brunson being a good addition to this team, a good scoring option for them. RJ Barrett's playing decent enough. Still, I would say they're still kind of mediocre for the New York Knicks. And really, my opinion doesn't change on the Knicks. They're a very competitive team, but not a team that I'm taking too seriously right now. Going to number 13, we're going to have the Portland Trail Blazers jumping up a spot as well. The Blazers this week go 1-1, so only 2 games this week. So still my same opinion on the Blazers. Damian Lillard it's really the Damian Lillard show here and not much else. Damian Lillard is an excellent player, but I just don't think that's enough to be able to win a championship or be a contender in my eyes, and that's really what I've said for the past few weeks, or the really like 4 power rankings or whatever. So my opinion really doesn't change on the Blazers either. All right, then number 12, we're going to go into the playoffs tier here. Dropping down 2 spots, the slide for the Phoenix Suns continues. Clearly missing Devin Booker. So they go 0-3 this week. Just really struggling right now and losing, dropping down 2 spots here. Not good for the Phoenix Suns right now. I mean, I thought that they would be able to handle their business. They got a good roster, even without Booker, with DeAndre Ayton, Chris Paul, and Bridges. They got a decent team. This team's good in my opinion, but they're not playing like it right now. I guess Devin Booker made that much of an impact. He's obviously a really good player, but still, the Suns, I would expect more out of them right now. They've got to be better. I don't think that the Blazers are a better team right now, but it's close between those two. I was debating which one's better. But I'm going to take the Suns just barely over them. But we'll see if the Suns can figure things out right now because they're struggling. All right, and then jumping up a spot, we have the number 11 team. We're going to have the Dallas Mavericks here. The Mavericks figuring some things out. They go 3-0 this week. So Dallas really jumping up here, playing good. So yeah, Dallas just Luka Doncic. I really criticized this team very similar to the Blazers earlier. It was really just Luka Doncic and nothing else for this team. I clearly was wrong. Luka Doncic is an excellent player, and they got some pieces with Dinwiddie. It's not as bad of a roster as I was saying, but still, I still don't think that a one-man Luka Doncic show is going to be able to lead this team to the championship. He's such a good player, and they're winning a lot of games. So maybe my mind will change later on. Right now, I still think that they're a number 11 team, but another excellent week for the Dallas Mavericks. All right, also jumping up a spot, we're gonna have the Miami Heat. The Heat starting to figure some things out this week. Go 3-1, so solid week for Miami. Jimmy Butler playing good. You know, we know the potential of this team. This team was the number 1 seed in the East last year. So you got to take the Heat seriously. They're a good team, but they got to be better than what they've shown early on this year. Really had a rough start, but they're figuring some things out right now. So good for the Heat. And if this team can keep going, this team could be a legitimate contender. All right, so number 9, I'm going to keep this team in the playoff tier. We're going to have the New Orleans Pelicans staying at the same spot. So the Pelicans stay in the playoff tier. This week they go 2-2, just not enough for me to move them up after I dropped them out a couple of weeks ago or whatever. So yeah, the Pelicans, it's a good team. Zion Williamson's such a good player. CJ McCollum, Ingram, it's a very good Pelican squad. Don't get me wrong one bit. It's just not enough for this Pelicans team to be a top team in the NBA in my eyes. They're really good record right now. They're close to being in the contender tier, but I just got to lay them off a little bit right now. They don't have a lot of experience in the playoffs. And I don't know about Zion Williamson. We're not fully sold on him yet either. So the Pelicans, I do think, are still in the playoff tier, sitting at number 9. All right, let's go to the contenders tier now. Starting out with number 8, we're going to have the LA Clippers dropping down 4 spots, very close to dropping out of it as a whole. I don't even know what to think about the Clippers at this point. Last week I jumped them up, but this week I'm dropping them down, of course. Just not playing good right now for LA one bit. They've got to be better. Kawhi Leonard, he's obviously a really good player, but he's missing time. He's not playing as much minutes. He's not playing like the old Leonard. And Paul George isn't he's really good. Don't get me wrong, but he's not going to carry this team to be a top team. He's got to be Leonard as well in there for the Clippers. And right now that's just not working. The Clippers got to be better. They're struggling. They had a good week last week, but then this week they go bad. So I don't know. The Clippers are kind of an inconsistent team, and they're very close to being like the Warriors a few weeks ago, where I just completely pulled the plug on them and dropped them out of the contender tier. All right, going to number 7, we're going to have the Philadelphia 76ers jumping up a spot. The Sixers go 2-1 this week. So solid week for the Sixers. Just continue to play good basketball with Joel Embiid, James Harden. We know that this team is a good team. Got a lot of talent on that roster. Not a lot else to say. The Philadelphia 76ers are a top team in the NBA, in my opinion, and they continue to win ever since they've gotten back Harden. Going to number 6, we're going to have the Denver Nuggets staying at the same spot. The Nuggets this week go 2-2. So, yeah, not worthy of moving really at all there. I know the Clippers dropped down, but still another team jumping ahead of them here. So, yeah, the Nuggets, number 1 team in the Western Conference right now, standings-wise. But still, Nikola Jokic, obviously the MVP caliber player. He's playing like Jamal Murray, playing decent enough. And the Denver Nuggets are a top team in the NBA right now, and a team that's scary. I mean, if Joel Embiid, not Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, he is just very, very good, and he's hard to stop. All right, going to number 5, jumping up 2 spots, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies have a good week this week after a rough one last week. They go 3-0, I believe. Yeah, 3-0. So good week for Memphis. Ja Morant obviously leading this young team. This team is very dangerous with all their players that they got. Can really, really play good defense, really score. And the Grizzlies are just a complete team right now. They're very, very good. And with that experience last year in the playoffs, this year, I think right now they're the best team in the Western Conference and the most dangerous in that conference. All right, so now we're going to have 4 Eastern Conference teams in a row here. Starting out with number 4, the Cleveland Cavaliers, jumping up 1 spot here. I think there would have been maybe 6 if they didn't have that 71-point outing from Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell has completely elevated himself to being a superstar. He was really getting criticized last season, not being the star that he is. But this season, he has completely, shut up those haters ever since he's gotten to Cleveland. And Cleveland that was a huge trade for them. Getting Mitchell in the building has completely turned this team into a top team right now. And this defense for the Cavs is a good defense. And then when Mitchell plays like that, it doesn't even matter what you do. He's gonna play good. And he had 11 assists in that game as well. So that's just insane for Donovan. But excellent performance for Donovan Mitchell right there and the Cleveland Cavaliers. As they go, let's just get this official 2-1 this week. All right, going to number 3, dropping down a spot, we have the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks falling to number 3 after being number 1 for a long time, over these past couple of weeks. But the Bucks this week go 1-2, so not a good week again for Milwaukee. Giannis, still, I really do believe in Giannis is the best player in the NBA. Maybe that's a stretch, but Giannis just when he's on, you just cannot stop him right now. And then the Bucks, they're playing like a team, but yeah, I do think they're better teams right now in the Eastern Conference with the next 2 I'm about to read. So still a very good team for Milwaukee. Going to number 2, though, the Brooklyn Nets. What is it now? What is it, like 12-game winning streak or something? 3-0 this week. I got to see. Because ever since Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant are here, are together, this team is dangerous. They're only 1 game. They've won 12 straight games. Yeah, the Brooklyn Nets are real right now. They are dangerous. Kevin Durant playing at a high level. Kyrie Irving playing really good basketball. And the Brooklyn Nets having a good time right now. That is for dang sure. Very scary team. When this team is on, you just cannot stop them. All right, finishing us off with number 1, we're going to have the Boston Celtics staying at the same spot. The Celtics go 1-1 this week, so another just 1-1 week. So yeah, the Celtics, solid enough team right now, very good defense, the best team in the NBA in my opinion. Just had a solid week. And that, my opinion, doesn't really change on the Celtics right now, but the Nets gaining on them fast in the Eastern Conference. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching this video today. Hopefully you all enjoyed the content. Comment down below your power rankings. And anyway, peace